Before I start tying this pretty cool tube pike fly, I just want to show you a bit of new stuff. This is the EP Predator fur brushes, and what they are is actually a very thin woven intertwined wire with some fur, some craft fur inside there, and this gives some very cool heads and finishing touches to the flies. And as you can see, it's quite wide, so you can really get some nice effect with these. And for many of the modern types of pike flies, this is a very good material. The colors are awesome, and many of them are two-toned. And there's a bunch of very useful colors, chartreuse and white and pink and all sorts of stuff. But I very much like this. And as you can see, it's fairly long, so it's going to add a lot of movement. There is 6 strings in a package, so also you get a lot of materials for the price. And each string can last maybe two, maybe three pike flies. So a very good quality, a very good deal. Also, the other thing I want to mention before I start tying is the new grizzly flash from Hedron. A very cool product that cannot completely substitute the hackle feathers, but it's a very good and very inexpensive alternative to the rather expensive hackles, because you get I was about to say shitload, but maybe that's not the right word. But you get an enormous amount of flash here, so this is equivalent to quite a large number of sessile feathers. So a good suitable substitution for the saddle feathers. Hi there. Today I'm going to tie a bit more toned down fly. It's going to be something in golden olive. We're going to add some flash, but not too much. Some of these colors are very good in autumn. The golden olive variety, it looks like a brim, or well, basically it looks a lot like food to pike. And on days when all the bright colors is not producing very well, then something like this can definitely do the trick. And we're going to use some of the new materials I mentioned before. This is a future fly tube on an Oimer tube fly needle, the best setup I've tried so far. These of course will be nice with in combination with a rig like this, and of course the wiggletails. There's a lot of add-ons going on the pike scene these days. A lot of add-ons. This is not going to be a fairly difficult fly, but it's just to make a new composition of colors. But basically, it's pretty much straightforward, like many other types of pike flies that I enjoy. So start building the fly with some olive, or any color you have laying around that is a bit natural, and will mix with something golden olive, something like that is a good color for this. So basically what we're doing is I've just applied a lot of thread here to ensure I have something solid to tie this down onto, like so, doing some loose turns before I put on the pressure here. And this again always works like the Corona here, simply just to help all the materials stand out. Pull everything back here, just force it back, hold, clamp down on it, and this. My pike fly fishing this year has actually not been as good as it used to. I've had two major lakes where I've been fishing a lot of pikes and had some incredible experiences, and these 2 lakes have for some reason not been producing this year. I got one very decent. Actually I got 2 above a meter this year. One at a meter and 14, which is, I would say, still pretty fair, pretty decent sized pike. But it's and of course I should not be complaining, but it has not been like it has been for the last couple of years. I'm not sure if this water is simply dried out, or if the pike is just learned my tricks. That can happen. Pike can become wary over time, and simply water that has been producing and producing and producing can simply all of a sudden, or over a period of time, simply become difficult to catch the fish. I'm sure the fish are still there. I don't know why they are not responding. I've been trying a lot of different stuff. Had a bit of a comeback with the wiggletails, because I think that was something they'd not seen before. But otherwise, it simply has not been producing. So I'm really looking for new waters. And that's a difficult process, because everyone is, like I did myself, is keeping their waters, to themselves. I would have loved to have been closer to Stee and the brackish water over on Sealand, but I simply that's simply too long a drive for me. It's about 3 hours, something like that. Not gonna do that every day, but I'm looking for new pike waters. And a good trick to when you're looking for new pike waters is simply to use Google Maps and find small lakes and stuff like that, and just try to make contact to the local to the farms and stuff like that it looks to be close to, and simply ask them if you can fish their water for a small sum of money. And more often than not, you get some sort of response, and every now and then you can actually find some very cool and very good pike waters in this fashion. So here is me just tying down some big fly fiber in big fly fiber blend in golden olive, and now we need the grizzly flashabou. And this is simply to add some contrast, of course, add some life as well, but to add some contrast, to actually make this fly appear more lifelike in the water. And I must say, I really enjoy using this grizzly flashabou. It's cool because it's kind of dull is maybe not the correct word, but it's not flashy, it's not shiny, and that really is quite cool, because you can, of course, always, if you want shiny, you can always just add a lot of shiny stuff afterwards or on top of this, but that it's not shiny actually is cool, because you can make you can use it for a lot of flies that you want to be a bit more subtle and a bit more discreet, like this one. And this time I don't want too much of this, because that's gonna kind of not ruin the pattern, but it's gonna make the pattern look a bit more give it the look I want. So today, which is not something I do often, I cut these leftover flash strands off. And if you want to ensure everything stays there, I was just about to cut my. I'm trying out a new scissor today. I'm not sure if I like it or not so far. I'm trying it now. I'm giving it a chance. I don't think it can compete with my Dr. Slick, but who knows? Like that. If you don't do that, then it's a very good thing would be to simply add some of this Sabagap with the brush here every now and then, simply to ensure your fly stays there. I can see the sun is about to come up. This is early morning here, so I'm just gonna. It makes a bit of a strange light, so I'm just gonna roll down the window. Sorry, the curtain. Sorry about the noise. I'll tangle like that. That makes everything looks better, I think. Like so. And well, what we're gonna do now is to take a bit of flash, because I would like a bit of flash here, and that's the holographic magnum in Fire Tiger. I'm not gonna use a lot, just gonna use a small amount, and as you can see, if you only use about this, then you have for for a very large number of flies. The packages are nice and big, which is something you're definitely going for when you're tying pike flies. Get as much material in a pack as you can. So, because that will mean it will last a bit longer. Also, you need a good thread, and the 0.12 from Futurefly is one of the best threads I've ever tried for pikes and for anything. And that's basically the thread I'm using for everything now. It's just, you know, the one that's on there, and it never comes off unless the spool is empty. It has a very low diameter. It's very thin, but at the same time it's incredibly strong. It's incredibly strong. And now you could of course apply some more glue, but there was a bit left over from before, so I'm pretty sure this flashabou is gonna stay there also. You see the full length of the fly here if you like. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this. This is Icelandic sheep, and Icelandic sheep is very cool material. It's natural, it's organic material, but does not soak up too much water. So so you can add some bulk and stuff to your flies. When you get a bundle like this, you can see this is very long. So what I do is I strip out this underpart here. So I simply pulled out this underpart, and that's basically the main part I'm gonna use. Of course, I'm gonna take the longest ones here. Just gonna brush these out so they look fairly good as well. And I'm gonna lay them on top, so everything has roughly the same length here, like so. And just to be completely on this safe side, I'm just gonna take all of this very woolly stuff out, and that's just gonna, you know, take up a lot of space. You can even pull your, if you have I have a Futurefly brush here, which is good for prepping materials. Simply take that to make sure my hairs are nice and not completely uniform, but at least tapers the right way here, like so. And then I'm gonna take this, and you could make a hackle out of this, but instead I'm just gonna widen it, and simply just lay it on top here. So it's gonna be like this, and then it's gonna be all around the tube, and step on it. Oh, crazy stuff! I've never had that happen before. Well, there's a first for everything, I guess. Oh, don't you just love when you praise something a lot and talk about how good it is and that it never breaks and stuff like that, like I just did with this thread here, and then a second later the inevitable happens. It breaks. So now I have to thread my chimco here again, like this, like so. And then I need to cut off a lot of stuff here. Just cut. Cutting as close as I can to where I tied the thread down here. Oh, I was about to cut my thread there. This is going to be covered by the string hackle in a second, and also by a conehead, but cut as close as you can too. And that's nice to have a rotating vise, because you can simply rotate it and cut away as you please. And also, in order to make this stay there, a nice touch to this is of course to add some super glue. So I'm gonna do that, add a bit of super glue. You can also simply just add some super glue directly to the thread here. That also works fairly well, like so. And as you can see, it adds a nice addition, this Icelandic sheep here, to this fly, and to basically to any fly. It's also a pretty nice material for large large salmon flies, like this. And then we're gonna take a string. And for this one, I'm gonna take this olive and orange one. It's a nice color, combination, and it looks good on this fly as well with the orange flashabou and grizzly flashabou. And since it's on a metal string, you need to take a scissor that's not your everyday scissor. So take something that is, a scissor that is outlived itself or something like that. So you won't cut off you won't destroy your most precious and best scissors. Every time I turn this, it's kind of like a hackle. I simply just fold stuff backwards here, like so. Got it. And make sure that you pull the strands out. So I'm gonna make now the next turn here in front, like so. I want this to be a bit bulky, so I'm gonna use about half of the string here. There's 6 strings in a package, so you get to a decent amount of flies. And also, it's two-tone, so that adds some pretty cool effect. An effect that's quite difficult to get if you make your own strings, but of course you can make your own strings. That's fairly easy. You can do that with a dubbing loop, but you cannot get the effect with the two, like so. Cutting my string off, and you can really see, actually also, you can really see the two-toned effect here. Up there. And to protect all of this and to add a bit more weight to the fly, I'm gonna add a conehead. But before I add the conehead, I'm gonna do something that I've been experimenting a bit with. I'm gonna use a jungle cock as eyes. These are fake jungle cocks. So they're jungle cocks. They're not the feather stuff. These are actually made from some kind of very durable, incredibly durable. Not plastic, not paper stuff, but as you can see, even though I try to pull this as much as I cannot tear it, and it's actually pretty durable as well, compared to with teeth and stuff like that. So these are nice. I've not done the testing completely. I mean, as thoroughly as I would like to, but they seem fairly promising. So if you're a bit skeptic, of course, wait for further instructions. I will tell you more when I've had these in a million pike teeth. But the testing I've done so far actually looks, as I said, very promising, and they do look pretty awesome on the pike flies. I like the look of them, like that. Gonna cut those off. Then I'm gonna make my whip finish, and for the last finishing touch on this one, I'm gonna use a conehead. A conehead is a nice addition because it adds some weight and stuff like that to any fly, but also it gives a nice and even finish and adds a bit of weight to your fly. So I'm just going to take a future fly. Future fly is the only one that makes coneheads which actually suits the big tubes. Of course, in order to get this to be where I want it to be, I just need to take some super glue here and, just... Also, this will make your eye stay on there a lot longer. Makes your fly a lot more durable, like this. And simply just, press that there without attaching yourself too much to the fly, like so. And well, all I need to do now is to trim it down in size, so it gets around this size here. So it gets around this size here, and well, basically there you have it. And also, you see it from the front end here. It looks pretty deadly, Well, thank you for tuning in. A nice pike fly in some cool colors.